I was actually thinking, but my mouth just opened and words came out.
We're super delighted that our cookbook is out. You want to show them the cookbook?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
And the first thing that happens is I get an email. Somebody burnt the lemon bars, and there's a problem there. So we decided that we're going to introduce the cookbook on our video series by starting with lemon bars. You'll notice that the crust is rather thick. At home, we halve the crust. In other words, we actually double the amount of custard and do one set of crust but do 2 pans of it, because the thinner crust is better.
So we're going to start with the crust today. We're going to start with the dry ingredients, pulse them up into the food processor, and then stream in the wet ingredients or the oil second. We're going to put in the walnuts into the food processor. 2 cups.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Can I do it?
Throw it in. Okay. Next, we're going to put our flour in. Today we're using an all-purpose flour, but you can use a gluten-free flour blend, such as Bob's Red Mill that you can find at the store, and that works fine. Just make sure that your gluten-free blend has a little bit of starch in it. That'll hold it together. So 2 cups going in, plus 1.5 more cups makes 3.5 cups total. Then a teaspoon of salt to balance the sugar we're going to put in. A teaspoon of baking powder, and so we want the baking powder because that's self-rising. It doesn't need an acid to rise. 1 cup of unbleached cane sugar, or vegan sugar.
Many people don't know this, but most sugars are run through an activated charcoal that's made with animal bones, bones from slaughterhouses. We don't use that here, obviously.
Now we're going to turn it on and pulse it. Now we're going to drizzle in some oil.
Yes, but use a lot less oil than we call for. This is a restaurant recipe. At home, we'd use maybe half the oil and put in a little more water. So we cheat it, and it makes for a crispier crust, but the fact of the matter is, it's a healthier crust.
So now we're going to start with drizzling 3/4 cup of oil and add that extra 1/4 cup if we need it. As you can see, it looks a little bit dry here, so we just need to scrape down the sides and make sure that the oil gets incorporated in all of the dough.
You can see the oil is in the bottom along the edges.
Hey everybody, it's Joan Stanford, co-author of the Dining at the Ravens cookbook. Hi Joan.
Here, what have I walked in on? Hello. So what are you doing, guys?
Lemon bars.
The best.
We're going to take this from the food processor and put it into the bowl and see if we need to add a little bit more oil or even water. Using your hands or a spatula, continue to mix it around and see, what you really want to see is that it's coming together. You see how it's sticking together? If it doesn't stick together or you see some dry crumbly parts like this, that means you need a little bit more oil or water. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of water. That's perfect. So now we're going to transfer this onto 2 different sheet trays. To make a thicker crust, use 1 sheet tray, but to make a thinner crust, spread it between 2. Instead of using more oil, I've placed some parchment paper on the sheet tray so that the crust won't stick. So go ahead and line your sheet tray with whatever parchment or silicone baking mat you have and press the crust into it. It should be about 1/2 inch thick. This is what it looks like when it's all pressed in. Now we're going to bake it at 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's nice and brown. This is going to be fun. Hi guys! Can I come use the oven?
A blood mark on his neck.
Alright, in we go.
With beets. The beet juice drop.
This is my favorite part, lemons. So we're going to juice and we're going to zest the lemons and then we're going to put them in a pan with some agar and coconut milk and cook it up. So I took the crust out of the oven. You can see there's a little browning going on. Now it's important this step to put it in the fridge and let it cool down before you put the filling, the lemon curd, on it. If you don't, what happens is that the lemon curd will separate from the crust. It won't adhere together. Now we're going to put all the liquids into a pan and slowly simmer it at a low temperature and whisk it. Coconut milk going on in. This could be dangerous.
You hear the air coming out of that? Whoa.
Ooh. Throw in the lemon juice in. Cornstarch going in. Agave going in. Vanilla. Zest of 6 lemons.
There's your color from the lemon zest.
So now we're going to add in the agar.
Agar. We prefer to use the powder because it dissolves more evenly and quicker than the flakes. The flakes are readily available at places like Whole Foods. However, agar is available at much less cost at Amazon.
4 tablespoons going in of the powder. If you were going to use flakes, it would be 4 of these bags. So you can see the difference. This is much more dense. This takes a lot longer to dissolve, so we're going to go ahead and use the powder today.
Right. What I'm doing is stirring this up to dissolve it and make sure the agar is dissolved, and then we'll be blending it to get the cornstarch completely dissolved too, although this is starting to do it.
So the reason we're using agar in this recipe is to thicken our coconut and lemon mixture. As soon as it comes to a boil or simmer, a low simmer point, the agar is going to activate. But if you don't heat it up, it won't activate. Eventually, when we cool the lemon bar, it'll thicken the whole mixture. This is the texture you're looking for. Now we're going to transfer it to the blender. That way if any balls have formed, that we can blend them out and so it's nice and smooth. Into the blender! Woo!
And I just tasted it. It is very good. It's not very yellow. Our lemons weren't that yellow. But we could add turmeric to add some yellow color to it.
Now we're going to blend it up.
You'll notice that our lemon melange is, it tastes incredible, but it isn't very yellow, and that's because of the lemons. We could have doctored it with turmeric, but we chose not to, and we never do at the restaurant. We'll just serve it pale, but it tastes good.
Here we go.
And in the book, she just had great summer lemons. We made that last year.
It was Meyer lemons, and they're a cross between a lemon and an orange. And the Meyer lemon is a little bit darker in color. So just using a rubber spatula here to make sure that it goes to the edges. If you find that you have a little bit of air bubbles from the blending action, just go ahead and pick up your pan and just tap it. And now it's ready to go into the refrigerator and cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes. Really, agar hardens at room temperature, but you want to serve the lemon bar cold.
We'll come back when it's done and show you the result.
And maybe eat some too.
Wait a second. That tooth, that's a thing that I can't fix. Hi! We have our taster today. His name is Matthew, or Matt. Hi. Sadhana's sacrificing her life for us.
It's tart and delicious.
I really like it. And it has a slightly crispy crust due to the fact that we reduced the oil.
Like this video.
Subscribe to our channel.
Very well done. And thank you for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.
Who's a schmooper? Who's a schmooper? Who's a schmooper?